Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Maro. I hope you'll join me today for a yummy, gentle yoga class and meditation at the end of class. We will need 2 blocks today, so grab those, or you can use pillows if you don't have blocks, it's not a big deal. And a folded blanket. I'm sitting on my folded blanket, but grab all your props, go ahead and jump into something comfortable. Find a quiet space where you can practice with me. We will explore moving and breathing, and in particular, we will find diaphragmatic breathing, our essential breath, super important. And moving the body will create suppleness so that we can encourage that free flow of fluids and oxygen throughout the whole body. It's going to be a super yummy class. So I hope to see you soon. Go get ready. I'll be back in just a few. So we will begin in seated today. All right, everyone, let's get our yoga on. So go ahead and grab something to elevate the hips. I like to place my block on the bottom, blanket on top to make it a little softer. I always switch though how I sit. So sometimes I sit on a bolster, sometimes I stack pillows. So just find a comfortable upright seated position that allows you to elevate the hips so that we can find a neutral pelvis. That's what we're aiming for here. And we want to find a neutral pelvis because we want to breathe properly. We're going to explore diaphragmatic breathing. And the diaphragm moves down the way it's supposed to when you have proper alignment. So if you're rounding in the back like this, then the diaphragm has no space to go down. And then we're breathing in our chests, and we don't want that because that just uses secondary respiratory muscles. It tightens everything up. So go ahead and elevate the hips, sit nice and tall on something. And then I want you to stick your butt out behind you as you're sitting. So you have this sensation of tilting the pelvis. Okay, good. And then take your fingers and just keeping the pelvis where it is, gently relax the low ribs down so that they're stacking. Ribs directly over the pelvis. Okay, we're creating this pathway for the diaphragm. Good. So once you find your comfortable seated position, then go ahead and close your eyes. Oh, and let's settle in. I'm sensing we all need a cleansing breath this morning. So big inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and release that breath. Good. 2 more. Inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and sigh. Last one, your biggest breath. Big inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and let it go. Lovely. So just settle into your body here. You might take a moment to just feel your whole body as you sit here. Feel the tilt of your pelvis. Feel the spine lengthening upwards. Good. And then connect with your breath. And just begin to deepen your breath, to lengthen it in both directions. And all the while doing that, see if you can breathe a little bit more into your belly. Allowing the diaphragm to move down. Allowing the ribs to expand when that happens. The diaphragm is this double domed shaped muscle just tucked under your lungs. And when you inhale, it's supposed to move down, compressing the organs, massaging them really, allowing the belly to expand, allowing the rib cage to expand. It looks like two parachutes sitting under your lungs if you were to see it. So just connect with that beautiful, strong muscle and let's really use it today so we can find optimal breathing. And if you want, just to help you figure out how to breathe diaphragmatically, I like to take my fingers, my hands, and I wrap them around my rib cage. So I've got my forefingers in the front of the ribs and my thumbs are kind of in the back. Yeah, just at my low ribs. If your shoulders are really tight, you can just place your hands like this, or you can even give yourself a hug and just place the right hand on the left side, the left hand on the right side. But this way, when you breathe, whichever way feels good for you, you feel the rib cage expand. So let's take a few deep breaths like this. Nice and slow. Hopefully, you're inhaling from the nose. Maybe exhaling from the nose. If not, you can exhale from your mouth. And then one more thing I want you to check that's really important. You can tuck your chin towards your chest and just look down at your belly. Take a couple deep breaths like this and make sure the belly is actually moving out as you breathe in. Good. What we don't want is what's called this reverse breathing, that when you take a big inhale in your ribs, all of a sudden the belly moves in and up. It goes in the opposite direction. So just kind of look down at your belly if that feels okay on your neck. Or you can place one hand on your ribs, one hand on the belly, whatever works here. And just make sure that the belly is cooperating. Good. A few more breaths wherever you are, exploring this diaphragmatic breath. Good. Two more deep breaths. Inhaling deeply and exhaling completely. Good. Beautiful job, everyone. So from here, go ahead and remove the props that you're sitting on. We won't use them while we're stretching here and seated. So put those aside. You might need them later. And then from here, go ahead and inhale. Reach the arms out and up. Just a nice stretch here. And then exhale, gently bring hands at heart. We'll do that two more times. Inhale, reach out and up. Stretch the torso. Exhale, hands down. One more, out and up. Exhale, hands at heart. From here, walk the hands forward, just for a forward fold over our cross legs, and go as far as you want. Okay, and just feel that stretch in the back of the body. And take a deep breath here into the back ribs. And from here, walk the hands over to the left for a little side body stretch here in your fold. And breathe into the right side of the ribs. Big inhale, create some space. Good. Now we'll walk our hands back through center, go to the other side. All the way over to the right. Breathing into the left side of the ribs. You can fold as deeply as you want here. Good. Come back through center and go over to the right again. Maybe a little deeper. Maybe you even come into this side bend. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, fold forward and sweep to the right, coming into a side bend this way, just a little different. Good. Inhale, fold and sweep over to the left. Just exploring some interesting movement here. We'll just go side to side. Exhaling to fold forward. We're just kind of dancing in this, moving in a different way. Good. The next time you're on the left side, go ahead and stay there. And you can stay like this, or maybe you take that top hand, placing it on the right side of your ribs, and take 2 deep breaths here and just see if you can feel the space between the ribs expand. We're creating space for our breath. Loosening up all those tight, stiff places that prevent us from breathing fully. Good. Now we'll move the other way. So go ahead and fold forward and just sway all the way to the other side. Beautiful. So on the right side now, stay here. Anchor through that opposite hip. So push it down so you really get a nice stretch on this side of the torso. And then that top hand, you can stay here. Maybe you want to place it on the left side of your ribs. You're just encouraging yourself to breathe into your hand. 2 breaths. Stretch out the ribs. Breathe into your belly. Good. We'll release this in our forward fold in the front. Just one more breath into your back. See if you can find your back ribs. Breathe into them to the best of your abilities. Perfect. And we'll come back up to our seat. Let's switch the cross of the legs. So just change it. Beautiful. And then take the hands, put them behind you, and let's find a back bend. So let's reverse all of this. So you're just placing your hands behind you. Let the shoulders move away. Encourage the collarbone to really open and spread. Puff up your chest. Oh, that feels super yummy. I feel a stretch down my arms. My arms are saying yes for this. So make sure this is a yes for your arms and your shoulders, and just breathe into the front of the body. Imagine this, your total torso breathing happening here. Your entire front torso is just expanding with your breath. One more. Good. Come back through center. Lovely. And we'll go ahead and open the arms out and twist to the left. And hold here. Sitting nice and tall. Maybe right hand on the left knee. Just gentle pull, pulling you into the twist as long as that feels super yummy by your upper back, the shoulders. Good. Sit nice and tall again. Don't round the upper back. And maybe you look over the left shoulder and breathe here. Let's create some space in the upper back. We're stretching it so that the back part of the diaphragm can move down properly. Super powerful when we can capture the back diaphragm at the back ribs. One more breath here. Good. Now release this halfway. We're not going all the way forward. Your chest is going to face your left knee. So right hand on my left knee, it's not leaving. And from here, take the left arm and just side bend towards your right knee. So it's this like half twist side bend. Feels super yummy. It just captures a different part of the upper body. So if you're confused, you can always check me out. Good. Breathe here. Breathe in some suppleness and softness into the body. Beautiful. Release this down and we'll just twist the other way. Twisting to the right. Get yourself set up here. Sit nice and tall. Left hand on right knee. Relax the shoulders. Good. And just notice what the spine is doing. Do you feel as though you're rounding into this? Try to sit nice and tall. We want to get the twist and the stretch in the mid and upper back. So it's important that you're sitting tall. Good. Hold and breathe. Look over the right shoulder. One more breath. And release this halfway. Halfway, your chest is facing the right knee, and you side stretch here towards the left knee. Side body stretch, just finding a different angle. And breathe. Breathing a calm and centered breath. There's a connection between breathing and the state of your mind and body. Keep that in mind as we move today. Good. Release this. Come forward. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's stretch the wrists. So go ahead and rotate the wrists in one direction and rotate them the other way. Good. I like to clasp my hands together and then I kind of do this funky motion here of just flipping the hand up, taking each hand takes its turn flipping up. Good. Yes, like that. And then the hardest thing is figuring out how to go the other way. Good, 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 good. Perfect. Just a little warm up for the wrist while we were in seated. So let's go ahead and lie down for just a few more things before we come up. So find yourself on your back. And let's prepare for bridge. Feet are hip width apart. But first, we'll find some pelvic tilts before we arrive into our bridge. So let's continue to loosen up muscles. The breath also reaches the hips too. That's how far down it goes. So let's encourage our breath to land there. So as you inhale, I want you to feel as though you're sticking your butt out behind you and you're tilting your pelvis forward. You're not going to go very far. Maybe you move a couple inches or less. And then as you exhale, you'll tilt your pelvis back. Feels as though you're planting your low back on the mat. And we'll just go back and forth like this. Inhaling, low back comes off the mat. You feel as though you're sticking your butt out behind you. And exhaling, tilt the pelvis back. It feels as though you're planting the low back into the mat. We'll just go back and forth like this. Inhaling, tilt forward. Exhaling, tilt back. Find your own rhythm here. Breathe nice and slow. See if you can breathe into your pelvis. Send the breath there. Feel as though the breath is tilting the pelvis forward. And the exhale allows you to draw back, tilting the pelvis back. And the next time you exhale, you'll tilt the pelvis back, press into your feet, lift the hips into bridge as far as you want to go. And inhale to lower, tilt the pelvis forward. A nice long inhale. Good. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back, press into the feet, lift the hips. And we'll just continue like this, using our breath, connecting it with the movement, and slowing this down as much as possible. Staying connected with the feet as you exhale, squeezing the bum when you're in bridge. Good. Let's do one more round before we hold our bridge. So the next time you exhale, stay in bridge. Feel your feet, both of them. Hello, right foot. Hello, left foot. Good. Lift the hips up as high as you can go. Breathe some suppleness and softness into the front of the body and feel strong in the back of the body. Glutes are strong. The back of your legs are strong. Good. One more breath here. And we'll release this down. Beautiful job. Straighten the legs out for a full body stretch. Reach the arms up overhead. Big inhale, like a 5-pointed star. Send the breath into the entire body as you stretch. And on your next exhale, let's find our banana shape, our crescent shape. So let the legs move all the way over to the left. Maybe you hook the right foot on the left ankle. And the arms are going to go to the left. So you're finding this side body stretch lying down. And just kind of wiggle around and find that perfect position where you feel a little bit of a stretch in the outer right leg, outer right hip, but you also feel it on the right side of your torso. So we want to stretch these areas and encourage our breath to reach the whole body. It's important for the body to be supple. That's how this essential breath reaches it. If you're tight, if you're stiff, right, and tense, then there's no free flow of fluids and oxygen. It doesn't allow the breath to reach the whole body. So we're stretching today, finding that proper diaphragmatic breathing so we can benefit from the free flow of fluids and oxygen. And let's switch sides, come back through center, big inhale, full body stretch. And as you exhale, switch sides. Encourage the legs to move a little over to the right. You can hook one foot on top of the other. Encourage the arms to move to the right. Maybe right hand holds onto the left wrist. Side body stretch. You can wiggle and jiggle until you find that perfect place where you feel just this subtle stretch in the outer left hip and the outer part of your left torso. Hold and breathe. One more breath. And we'll gently come out of this and bend the knees, planting the feet on the mat. Maybe feet as wide as the mat. Let's find some windshield wipers. So allow the knees to flop to one side, come back through center. They flop to the other side. Exploring movement in the hips, hip joint, and the knees, inner and outer thighs. You might even feel this in your low back and your low belly. And if you want to add a little more movement here, the next time the knees fall to the left, let both of the arms and the fingertips reach to the right. Oh, yeah, try that. And then we'll switch sides. So then the knees come to the right and both arms come to the left, fingertips reaching to the best of their abilities. Good. And continue to switch sides. Beautiful. Just go side to side, knees to one side, hands to the other. A few more rounds, just feeling upper body warming up too. Shoulders. Beautiful. All right, we'll come back to neutral. Hug the knees in. And on a nice big inhale, let's encourage the legs to move up to the ceiling, arms overhead. Reach, reach, reach through the limbs. Exhale, hug. Good. Big inhale, heel bones to the ceiling, arms overhead. Exhale. One more big inhale, legs up, arms overhead. And exhale, hug. Perfect. Release the feet down. Let the knees fall to the left. We'll find a little psoas stretch here. So bring your attention to your right leg and your right foot. So we're finding a variation of a reclined twist. Heel toe the right foot over to the right, as long as that isn't okay by the right knee. Good. You'll feel kind of an intense stretch in the top of the right thigh, maybe even into your belly. Reach the right arm up and over and create this beautiful long line with your mind's eye from the right fingertips all the way down to the right knee. Hold and breathe. And know that you can always place a prop underneath the right knee and just let it rest on something that might feel good. One more breath. Breathe into the right side of your torso. Perfect. And we'll come out of this and switch sides. So maybe you do windshield wipers just one time on each side as a transition. Let the knees fall to the right. Good. And then bring your attention to your left foot, heel toe, the left foot all the way over to the left. Beautiful. Left knee in line with your left hip, left arm up and over. Maybe the right hand lands on the left side of your waist, just to encourage you to breathe in that area. So hold and take 2 or 3 deep breaths here. Make your breath really loud. One more. Good. We'll come out of this. I think we're ready for some core work. You know where we're going when we do that reclined twist. So find yourself in a reclined chair. You look like you're in a chair that fell over backwards. And you're aiming at getting the knees over the hips. Maybe you feel your low back pressing into the mat. That might feel a little bit better. And if this is too much, bring the knees a little closer to your chest. So find that place where your core is awake. It's like giving you 15 to 20% effort. And then find your breath. Let's see if we can find that diaphragmatic breathing. And if it's not too much here, maybe you wrap the fingers around the low ribs again. So just to feel your breath moving in that direction. So a big inhale, breathe into the low belly, the low back, feel the ribs expand. And exhale, just invite this gentle hugging in and up. Good. 2 more like this. Big inhale. Everything expands out. And exhale, you feel this hugging in and up. Beautiful. Connect with your diaphragm. Inhale, feel it move down. Exhale, hug everything in and up. Good. You can release the hands on the next inhale. Touch the right toe down. Exhale, belly in and up. Come back to reclined chair. Inhale, touch the left toe down, nice and slow. Exhale, belly in strong. Perfect. Continue going side to side. Inhaling, touching one toe down. Exhaling back to neutral. Inhaling, touching the other toe down. Exhaling back to neutral. Stay connected to your breath. Press the low back into the mat. If you feel any crunchiness, always feel like you can bring the knees closer to the body to make it a little less challenging or a little more manageable, actually. You want to feel this, but not to the point that it's so challenging that you can't connect the breath with the movement. We want the full benefit of this. So find that perfect place where there's just enough effort, a hint of a challenge. That's what I was trying to say, a hint of a challenge. If you need a little more challenge, know that you can touch the toes further away on the mat. You can even explore touching both toes. See what that feels like. Super strong core. Use your breath. Good. Try whichever variation works for you. A few more rounds. You are strong. You got this. Your diaphragm has your back. Just keep breathing. Let's do one more on each side. Yes. Good. And we'll release that. Oh. Maybe you sigh the exhale. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Maybe you hug your knees into your chest. Maybe you need a quick bridge. I like constructive rest after I do core work. I just let my knees fall in towards each other. My legs are bent. So just pause for a moment here. Good work, everyone. We are ready to come up to hands and knees. Feel free to lean to one side and press yourself up. And I'm going to bring my folded blanket with me, place it under my knees for some extra padding. You can do the same. And let's go ahead and grab our blocks so we have them in the right place when we need them. So you'll place them on either side of the mat, closer to the top of the mat. We'll use those later. Good. So hands and knees, neutral tabletop. Go ahead and maybe you tuck the toes just so we get a little toe stretch here, but bring your attention to your hands. Spread the fingers wide in the right hand. And then lift your thumb up, place it down, lift the index finger up as far as it goes, place it down. Middle finger lifts, down, ring finger. Oh, can you get just the ring finger up? That's hard. It's okay. Ring finger down and then pinky. Ooh, and place that down. Let's do the same thing with the left hand. So thumb comes up, place it down, bring the index finger up by itself, place it down, middle finger, and then ring finger, and then pinky. Good. Spread the fingers in both hands. Beautiful. You can keep the toes tucked if you want for some cat-cows, or you can release the feet. It's up to you. Big inhale as you drop the belly, lift the gaze, and exhale to neutral. If you have osteoporosis in the spine, otherwise round the spine, releasing the head and neck. Good. A bunch of rounds here. Inhaling for cow. Exhale, neutral or cat pose. 2 more on your own. Slow it down. See if you can feel the diaphragm moving down as you breathe in. Or feel the expansion of the breath in your belly and your ribs. And feel it tuck back up as you breathe out. Good. Drop the belly in cow. Continue to breathe and then just shift your hips over to the right and look over the right shoulder. We're making a C shape with our spine. Good. Come back to center. Same thing on the other side. Shift the hips over to the left. Look over the left shoulder. Good. One more in your cow. Go to the right. Look over the right shoulder. Swing the hips over to the left. Look over the left shoulder. Good. Come back to neutral tabletop. So the spine is in neutral, no curves. Belly in and up. Same thing. Shift the hips over to the right. Look over the right shoulder. Center and do the same with the left side. Shift the hips to the left, look over the left shoulder. Good. One more on each side. Explore here on your own. Now you can continue this in neutral or you can find cat pose. So pick what works for you. And while you're in cat pose, see if you can do the same thing. Shift the hips to the right, look over the right shoulder. Ooh, it's a nice little stretch. Come back to center. Shift the hips to the left, look over the left shoulder. One more on each side on your own. Continue to breathe. Good. And from here, let's find what are called hip circles or spinal circles. It looks like you're doing a cat-cow side to side, or that you're drawing this circle with your belly. So you can look at me doing this. I'm just going in one direction. It's like I'm doing my cat-cow side to side, a big circle. Really feels good on the back, just stretching everything out. So explore that in one direction. And then we'll reverse the direction. So you'll go the other way, whichever way you were going, just switch it. I've heard these called hip circles, spinal circles, belly circles. Maybe y'all can help me find a good name for them. Good. All right, let's come back to neutral tabletop and find downward facing dog. Let the hands come forward just a little bit on the mat. Spread the fingers, tuck the toes, and lift the hips high to the sky for down dog. Good. Relax the head and neck and feel as though your hips are pushing up towards the ceiling. You might even bend the knees just a little bit. See if you can breathe so much into your hips that your breath is encouraging them to push up towards the ceiling. So the strength of the diaphragm and the breath is helping you lift the hips upward. It's just moving in that direction. It's coming in through your nose, moving, I guess, up the torso since we're upside down, and it's just pressing the hips up to the ceiling. Try that for 2 more breaths. Good. Release the knees down. Step the right foot forward. Stay here in your low, low lunge and grab your blocks. We'll find a little rocking low lunge here. So as you inhale, you'll rock forward, maybe arch the spine just a little bit, encourage the chest to move forward. And as you exhale, just send the hips back on a straight line, sending the hips back like someone pulling your hips back. Maybe the right leg straightens, it doesn't have to. Maybe the toes come up, they don't have to, whatever feels good. And then as you inhale, you'll rock forward into your low, low lunge. And as you exhale, you'll send the hips back on a straight line like someone's pulling your hips back. And we'll just go back and forth like this, inhaling forward. Stay with your breath, exhaling back. Breathing into the belly, breathing into the rib cage. Now you can continue doing this, or maybe the next time you inhale, you can twist. Inhaling, right arm comes up, twisting. Exhaling, right hand comes down, send it back, half split. So we're just adding a little movement here. It's up to you if you want to do it. Inhaling either to your low, low lunge, or maybe you twist. Nice long inhale. And exhale, half split. So let's do a few more rounds here. Let's do one more. We're really loosening things up. And the next time you inhale, come all the way up to low lunge. Good. Relax the low ribs down as you reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. Let's find a little wrist stretch here. Whew, rotate the hands in one direction and rotate them the other way. And find your low lunge. You can stay like this, or maybe you want to explore this breathing again. You can wrap the fingers around the rib cage and take 3 deep breaths, feeling your ribs expand. Maybe even take a little peek and look at your belly. Make sure your belly's expanding as you breathe in, trying to avoid that reverse breathing. The belly should never go in when you're inhaling. It should always move out. And you can stay like this. You can reach the arms up, your choice. You might even want to find high lunge. So that's always an option. You can tuck the back toes, lift that back leg just to get a little more, I don't know, juice out of this pose. So figure out where you want to be today. Every day is different. So honor your body wherever you are. Just hold this, feel strong, and breathe. Breathe, feel supple. Send that free flow of fluids and oxygen to your entire body. One more breath wherever you are. And high lungers, lower the back knee down, hands down. Good. And we'll find child's pose or down dog. I'm wanting child's pose, so feel free to go wherever it is that your body needs. Totally up to you. Wherever you are, breathe. If you're in child's pose, breathe into the back ribs. If you're in down dog, encourage that breath to come into the body and press the hips up to the ceiling. Good. We'll gently meet back in neutral tabletop. Step the left foot forward. Do the same thing on the other side. Grab your blocks. Big inhale, lean forward, rock forward rather, in your low, low lunge. And exhale, like someone's just pulling your hips on a straight line. Send the hips back. Left leg does not have to be straight, it can be bent. Good. Inhale, rock forward, chest up, look up. Exhale, rock back. Good. Keep flowing. Keep breathing. And slow it down to the best of your abilities. And maybe you add that twist on the next inhale. You can twist to the left. Left arm comes up as you inhale. Exhaling, left hand down, moving the hips to half splits pose. So you can incorporate this extra little movement here in your flow, just like we did on the other side. Just a few more rounds. Stay connected to your breath. Stay connected to the movement. And really create space for your breath. Good. The next time you inhale, let's come all the way up, low lunge. Good. Relax the low ribs down as you reach the fingertips up. And maybe you need to flick the fingers. Let's get another little finger stretch here. And relax that as you reach through the fingertips. You can do the same thing on this side. Place the hands around the ribs if that feels good. Take a few deep breaths here. Maybe you look down again just to make sure. Is my belly moving out when I inhale? And if you feel like you have it, you're breathing in the right direction, you can bring the arms back up. Totally up to you. And of course, you can stay here, or you can tuck the back toes, come up to high lunge. Feel strong in the legs. And breathe. Diaphragmatic breathing. High lungers. Release the back knee down. Beautiful. Hands down. Let's find downward facing dog or child's pose. From here, walk the feet up to meet the hands. Find a standing forward fold for just 2 breaths here. Release the upper body. Release the head. Breathe into your back. Feel the back body expand. One more breath. On an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Then inhale to come all the way up to standing. You can bend the knees if you want. Reaching arms overhead. Exhale, release them down. Good. We'll find chair pose here. Feet hip width apart. Good. On an inhale, send the hips back. And let's find chair. Okay. Actually, let's pulse in and out of this a little bit. I'm not ready for it yet. Maybe you're not. So inhale to come up. And exhale, sit back. Feel super strong in the legs. Inhale, stand. Exhale, shift the hips into your heels. Feel your glutes. Good. One more. Inhale. Exhale, chair. Stay there. Beautiful, beautiful. Maybe we find a twisted chair. But we're going to have to bring our feet closer together. So inhale to come up. Bring the feet closer together. Exhale, chair. Good. Continue to breathe. And let's twist to the left. So twisting the body. You can open the arms or you can bring hands together. Maybe that elbow hooks onto that knee. If you can come that low, it kind of helps you find the twist. Beautiful. And breathe. We just want to make sure the knees are tracking over the toes. So maybe you look down. Are my knees in alignment? They're next to each other. Good. Beautiful. Inhale to come out of this. Reach up. Woo. Exhale. Lean to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, lean to the right. To the left, I mean. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, chair. Getting ourselves set up for twisting to the right. So go ahead and twist to the right. Maybe that elbow hooks onto the knee or the thigh, just helping you find that twist. Breathe. You can also open the arms like this. Good. And then look down at your toes if you can and your knees. Whew, knees are in alignment. Good, good, good. And breathe. We did a lot of twisting today, creating some space and suppleness for optimal breathing. One more breath. And inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lean. Good. Inhale, reach. Get tall. Torso reaching up. Exhale, hands at heart. Good. One last thing here. Find a sumo squat. Let's get a little juice in those legs. So goddess pose, also known as a sumo squat. Whatever you want to channel today, your inner goddess or your inner sumo wrestler. Sometimes I need one or the other. Today I'm feeling both. I don't know why, but okay. Find this pose. Feel nice and strong. Feel your glutes fire. Good. Hold. And let's find a little side body stretch here. Reaching to the right. Good. Inhale here. Come back to center, reaching to the left. Breathe into the right side of the ribs. Good. Back to center. Hold and breathe. You got this, super strong. Sometimes it feels good to shift side to side. Woo. Press your heels into the mat. You're so strong. One more breath. And come up. Beautiful 5-pointed star. Breathe. And heel toe the feet together. Let's come to the top of the mat. Beautiful job, everyone. Coming back down. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Maybe walk out to downward facing dog, or maybe child's pose if that's what you need right now. That's where we're headed. Or maybe just one last down dog here. Your choice. Press the floor away if you're in down dog. Hug the armpits into the chin. Relax your head and neck. Breathe some life into the hips. Breathe so much that it reaches not just your belly, moves into your pelvic floor, into your hips, almost as if the breath is lifting your hips up to the ceiling. Good, 2 more breaths. Beautiful job, everyone. We'll all meet in child's pose. If you're in down dog, drop the knees, sit back on your heels, or any variation of child's pose that works for you, and just rest. I've asked you to do so much in class, so let's go ahead and just release the effort for the next 5 breaths. Just be here, breathe, relax, release. Y'all did such a good job. Good, and from here we'll slowly make our way up to a seat. Take your time getting there and decide what you're going to sit on today. Maybe it's a chair, or maybe you need to lie down. That's okay too. But I want to guide you through that optimal seating, proper alignment, so we find our optimal breathing, right? So I'm going to take my block again, place the blanket over it, just like I did at the beginning of class, and sit in Sukhasana, cross-legged, which is like this, or Siddhasana, if you can kind of turn the lower part of the leg out, the shin bones down. This is Siddhasana. It's heel bone to pubic bone. And then let's get a little technical here with how we're going to sit, okay? So again, feel as though you're sticking your butt out behind you. All right, butt out behind you. Maybe even you grab the flesh, pull the flesh out behind you. That helps you find your sits bones so that you're not sitting on the tailbone, okay? You're going to take your fingers and make sure that the pelvis is in neutral. So place the thumbs on your hip bone. So feel that hip bone right here, the 2 hip bones right there at the, like you're at your waist and you've got all that squishy stuff. And then you move down and you're like, oh, there's the shelf of my pelvis. And at the front are these bones, these bony protrusions. So place your thumbs there and then take your fingers and find your pubic bone. All right, there it is. So now you want to make sure that those stack. Okay, so the thumbs are over the fingers. All right, so look down. Typically the thumbs are going to be further back. So we want to tilt the pelvis forward so that the thumbs stack over the fingers. Good, keep that. Keep that. Maybe one hand where it is. Take the other hand and make sure the ribs, low ribs are down. Sometimes when we fix the pelvis, the ribs want to thrust forward. Me being a rib thruster, I'm very familiar with this. So if you're like me, let the ribs rest down. Good. And try to hold that to the best of your abilities. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay. We're all just trying to go in this direction. All right, hold that and then release the hands and close the eyes and just feel as though You're sitting nice and tall while maintaining all of that alignment that we just went over. Good. And let's get really interested in the breath today for our meditation. Let's get interested in the breath and all the parts of the body that feel the breath. So, for right now, I want you to follow the breath as it comes into the body. You're following its path. It comes in through the nose, and just notice what areas in the torso are impacted positively, of course, by the breath. What areas in the torso move? And if you need to take a few deep breaths to find this, that's okay. Just try your best to relinquish control and see if you can just watch the breath. Now, that is a very hard thing to do, so be kind to yourself. It's okay if you need to control it, a few breaths here and there. So follow the path of the breath as it comes in. What moves? Follow the path of the breath as it leaves the body. Again, noticing what parts of the torso move or are impacted by the exhalation. Let that be the most interesting thing that you've done today, or maybe that you'll ever do today. Is following your best friend around as it enters your body and leaves your body. Good. Now let's narrow our focus a little bit more. So go ahead and let your attention rest on the belly. So feel your belly, just your belly alone, and just notice what happens as you're breathing, this natural breath with no force or strain or control. Do you feel your breath in your belly? And if you don't, it's okay. Just make a note. Now move up the torso. Maybe we land in the middle part of the torso, like the low ribs, that area above the belly button, the low back ribs. Just see what you feel there. Really become curious about this and notice what's happening as you breathe. Now, slowly move up the body and just notice what it feels like in your upper chest, upper back, collarbone area, maybe even your neck, maybe your arms. Just a few breaths here, just to notice what happens in those areas that I mentioned. Good. Now moving up the body, no judgment, no reactions. Let your attention rest right at the nose, upper lip area. Just land there and then feel the cool air, just that subtle cool air as you breathe in, right at the nostril. And maybe you feel the warm air coming out. I don't always feel the warm air coming out, but maybe you do. Make that your meditation object here for the next minute or so. And feel free to continue to meditate for as long as you want to the end of class, or maybe even longer. It's up to you. If you found a groove, stay there. Or maybe you need to lie down for just a few minutes until class ends. Gently bring your attention back. And there's no rush yet to move or open your eyes. Let's take our time. So, whether you're lying down or in seated, it might feel good to reach the arms overhead. Take a nice big inhale. Stretch the body out. And if you're lying down, you can hug the knees into the chest, just giving yourself a hug, maybe rocking side to side. And then lean to one side if you're lying down. And just slowly press yourself up to a seat. Good. I bring my palms together, hands at heart. I bow my head to my heart. Thank you all for joining me today. For homework, yes, I'm giving you homework for today and maybe the rest of the week. See if you can pause and take a nice deep breath into your belly, encouraging your ribs to expand and just kind of connecting with that diaphragmatic breathing so the diaphragm can get stronger. So try to remember to do this as many times as you can. Awesome. Namaste, everyone. Lots of love. I hope you have an awesome day.